Okay, so figuring out how to lose 60 pounds and keep it off has been a huge game changer for me. It's been life changing in so many ways. The thing is that when I went on HCG, what HCG did for me was it helped me reconnect to the real reason for eating, which is nutrition and nourishment. And by focusing on just lean meats, vegetables, and fruits, the program kind of kept you in that nourishment lane of why we really eat. And for 42 years, I was disconnected. I was just disconnected from the reason for eating. My primary criteria for eating for 42 years was entertainment and pleasure. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with good food, but the reason, and you think about it, if you grew up in a praying household, you say your prayer before your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is thank you, God, for this food, for the nourishment of our bodies, right? That prayer doesn't say anything about thank you, God, for this food because it's entertaining, right? Or thank you, God, for this food because it's pleasurable. Or thank you, God, for this food because it's going to keep me from being bored. It is for the nourishment of our bodies. And that just didn't sink in. And I remember when the break happened. I remember it now that I've started thinking about it. The summer, the summer after I graduated from high school, before I went away to college, I got my first job, my first real job. I was a server. I was a waitress at the Holiday Inn restaurant in my hometown in Marshall, Texas, on Highway 59 and 20. And they had all the grill restaurant food that you can think of from the 70s and 80s. They had it there. I had my very first grilled Reuben sandwich there. I had my very first Monte Cristo sandwich there. I had my very first patty melt there. And it was also good because all of that food was just like high fat, right? It was high fat foods, that sandwiches with french fries, and it was free. So I ate my meals there. I ate all these new tasting foods that I'd never had before, completely different from what I was eating at home. Plus, desserts were there. You could have the desserts were free with every meal. So I was just unbridled. I was unbridled. That summer, after I graduated from high school, till I went to school for my freshman year, I went from a size 10 to a size 14. And I was so completely disconnected from the effect of that. I was so completely disconnected from the fact that I was no longer eating for nourishment and nutrition, and that this whole my whole thought process around food had changed to be focused completely on pleasure and entertainment. It became what I ate became what's good. What did I have a taste for? And it continued. It continued once I got to college, right? It continued with the cafeteria ladies in the dorm. My food of choice every day was a double chili cheeseburger, cooked on the grill. They put that grease, God knows what that grease was, on the bun, and they put it on the grill, and they put the grease. Then they put grease on top of the bun too, with the chili, which had fat, with the cheese, which had fat, with those burgers. God knows what kind of meat that was, which had fat, and the French fries, which had fat, and that I don't really remember eating anything other than that when I was in college. So that this habit of having a high fat diet based purely on pleasure and entertainment became how I lived my life until I broke the cycle. And I broke the cycle when I started thinking about why I wanted a better body. And then I had to start thinking about my food choices. Is this a choice is made for nutrition and nourishment? Or is this a choice that I'm making out of pleasure and entertainment? I had to do that consciously. I had to do that consciously because I had done it unconsciously for so many years. And it was showing up. It was showing up in obesity and poor health and a body that I was ashamed of. So I ask you, as you are moving down this road on your journey and thinking about being brand new, what are your whys, right? Why do you want a better body? And why are you choosing this particular food? Are you choosing nourishment and nutrition, or are you choosing something else? Something to think about.